So hello everyone, in this audio class we will discuss the 20 most questions that can be asked in the upcoming KVS and NVS interview related to NEP 2020. So let's get started with the question number 1. What is the main objective of NEP 2020? So the main objective of National Education Policy 2020 is to make education more holistic, flexible, multidisciplinary, skill-oriented and learner-centered. It aims to develop critical thinking, conceptual understanding, creativity and experiential learning instead of rote memorization. For example, in geography teaching, students should not only memorize river names but also understand how rivers influence agriculture, settlement, transport and culture. As a teacher, I would focus on learning by understanding rather than learning by memorizing. So question number 2, how is NEP 2020 different from the old education system? So the old education system was mainly exam oriented and content heavy. The NEP 2020 focuses more on competency based learning, conceptual clarity, flexibility and application of knowledge. According to NCERT Pedagogy, education should help learners connect classroom knowledge with real life. For example, instead of only teaching types of rainfall, I would ask students to observe local weather conditions and relate them with monsoon patterns in India. So this develops observation skill and geographical thinking. Question number 3, what do you understand by competency based learning? So competency based learning means students should be able to apply knowledge in practical situations. It focuses on understanding, application, analysis, problem solving and critical thinking. For example, after teaching urbanization, I may ask students to identify urban problems in Kolkata such as traffic congestions, pollution, waste management and suggest solutions. This helps students connect geography with society. Question number 4, how will you implement experiential learning in geography? So experiential learning in geography means learning through experience. NCERT recommends activity-based and field-based learning in geography. I would implement it through field survey, map work, weather observation, local area study, project work. For example, students can prepare a land use map of their locality and identify residential, commercial and transport zones. This makes learning meaningful and long-lasting. Question number 5, why is geography considered an interdisciplinary subject? So geography is an interdisciplinary subject because it connects natural science and social science. It studies physical environment, human activities and interaction between man and nature. For example, climate relates to science. Population relates to sociology, resources relate to economics, disaster management relates to environmental studies. Therefore, geography develops a holistic understanding of the world. Question number 6, how does NEP 2020 promote multidisciplinary education? So we already discussed this question. So question number 7, interdisciplinary, then in multidisciplinary. So question number 6, how does NEP 2020 promote multidisciplinary education? So NEP 2020 encourages integration of different subjects for comprehensive learning. In geography teaching, I can integrate economics with resources, political science with geopolitics, biology with ecosystem, mathematics with statistics and data interpretation. For example, while teaching climate change, students can discuss environmental, economic and social impacts together. This develops integrated thinking. Question number 7, what is the role of critical thinking in geography education? So critical thinking helps students analyze geographical issues logically and scientifically. Instead of accepting facts blindly, students should ask why, how, and what are the consequences. For example, why do floods occur repeatedly in Assam despite flood control measures? So student can analyze rainfall, river systems, deforestation, and human encroachment. This develops analytical ability. Question number 8. How can a teacher make geography interesting? So a geography teacher should connect concepts with daily life experiences. So I would use maps, diagrams, satellite images, case studies, current affairs, local examples. For example, while teaching earthquakes, I can discuss recent earthquakes and explain plate tectonics using simple diagrams. This increases curiosity and classroom participation. Question number 9. What is the constructivist learning? So constructivist learning means learners actively construct knowledge through experience and interaction. So the teacher should act as a facilitator, not as an information provider. For example, during map activities, students should identify patterns themselves rather than directly receiving answers from the teachers. This improves independent learning. Question number 10. What is the importance of map work in geography? So map is considered the language of geography. Map work develops spatial understanding, observation skill, analytical skill, interpretation ability. For example, students can compare rainfall distribution and population density maps to identify relationships between climate and settlement. So thus map help in visual learning and conceptual clarity. Question number 11. How will you integrate technology in geography teaching? So technology makes geography more interactive and visual. I would use digital maps, GIS basics, smart board, Google Earth, educational videos. For example, students can observe Himalayan landforms using satellite imagery. This improves visualization and understanding. Question number 12. What is inclusive education according to NEP 2020? So inclusive education means providing equal learning opportunities to all learners regardless of social, economic, linguistic, or physical differences. A teacher should ensure participation of every learner. For example, using bilingual explanation if required, giving extra support to slow learners, encouraging group learning. This creates a democratic classroom environment. Question number 13. How will you handle slow learners in your classroom? So I would first identify their learning difficulties and then use simple and activity based teaching methods. I would use diagrams and maps, repeat key concepts, conduct peer learning, give short assignments. For example, while teaching latitude and longitude, I may use globe demonstration repeatedly for better understanding. Patience and encouragement are very important. Question number 14. What is the importance of environmental education? So environmental education develops awareness about sustainable development and conservation of resources. Geography plays a major role in environmental education because it studies human-environment interaction. For example, students can study local pollution problems and suggest practical solutions like waste segregation and tree plantation. This develops responsible citizenship. Question number 15. What do you understand by sustainable development? So sustainable development means development that fulfills present needs without harming the future generations. It balances economic development, social welfare, environmental protection. For example, excessive groundwater extraction may increase agricultural production today, but it creates water scarcity in future. Therefore, resource use should be balanced and scientific. Question number 16. What is field work important in? Why is field work important in geography? So field work connects the theoretical knowledge with practical observation. It it develops observation skill, data collection skill, analytical skill, and scientific attitude. For example, students may conduct traffic surveys or settlement surveys in their locality. This makes geography realistic and practical. Question number 17. How will you assess students under competency-based education? So assessment should focus on understanding and application, not only memorization. I would use project work, map interpretation, case study analysis, group discussion, presentation. For example, students can analyze causes and impacts of urban flooding in Indian cities. This evaluates higher order thinking skills. Question number 18. What qualities should a good teacher possess? So a good teacher should have knowledge, subject knowledge, communication skill, patience, empathy, classroom management ability, positive attitude. So a teacher should inspire curiosity and independent thinking among learners. A teacher should be a facilitator of learning. Question number 19. How will you manage classroom diversity? So every classroom contains learners with different backgrounds and abilities. I would encourage participation, use cooperative learning, respect individual differences, use flexible teaching methods. For example, during group activities, students with different abilities can work together and can learn collaboratively. This promotes social and emotional learning. Question number 20, and this is the last question for today. Why do you want to become a geography teacher? So I want to become a geography teacher because geography helps students understand both nature and society scientifically. It develops environmental awareness, analytical thinking, and responsible citizenship. I believe teaching is not only a profession but also a social responsibility. As a teacher, I want to create an interactive classroom where students learn concepts through observation, discussion, maps, and real life examples. So my aim is to make geography meaningful, practical, and learner centered according to the NEP 2020 principles. So thanks for listening. Keep listening for the further audio classes.